Pinzon controls right side.
And this young lady, Abby Myers, transferred into Maryland's program from Princeton in the Ivy League. Averaged 19 points a game last year.
Second straight turnover for the Terps.
Maryland plays aggressive defense. Baylor plays aggressive defense. I expect you'll see quite a few fouls here today.
Asbury, Andrews, front of the iron.
Well, Sarah Andrews has the green light, obviously, in the Baylor offensive attack. She is a good three-point shooter.
Boy, is Diamond Miller exciting. Too much mustard on that pass, out of bounds.
Yeah, nice cut to the bucket, but Baylor playing pressure defense in the passing lanes, but good help there, dropping on the baseline to get that deflection.
And Cheyenne Sellers will sub in for Diamond Miller.
Caitlin Bickle throwing the ball in to Jaden Owens for Baylor. Owens, number 10 there, leads the Big 12 Conference in assists and is second in steals. That young lady was a transfer into the Baylor program a few years ago from UCLA and has made a big impact.
She controls in front of the Terp bench.
And you can see the size matchup improve her shooting. She's been rushing her shots. Got a nice touch on the free throw. Perfect arch. Just a little excited. Shot it a little too firmly.
Comes into the game shooting 50% from the charity stripe.
Brene Alexander has that inside rebounding position for Maryland. She's transfer from Vanderbilt, and she had 11 rebounds in their last game against Davidson to lead the way.
And she can light it up on offense too.
Baylor continuing half-court man-to-man defense. Abby
Myers pulls the trigger and Pinzon puts it back.
Yeah, Pinzon doesn't score much, only averages about 3.5 points per game, but you can see right there, she's very smart. Put that one back up quickly.
Owens directs traffic and gets it to Bickle. The coach on the floor, Coach Collin calls her. Bickle barrels her way to the hoop, draws attention and gets it to Andrews. Ribs out.
Well, Baylor's getting the shots they want. They like those three-point shots out of the corner. All three perimeter players for Baylor, Asbury, Owens, and Andrews, all capable of consistently knocking down those shots.
Won't get much time to breathe tonight. Both of these teams love to run. 4 turnovers so far from Maryland, looking to avoid that and take care of the ball on this possession.
A nice defense by Bickle.
Masanis bangs her way to the hole.
Bickle, one of the best defenders on this Baylor team, ranked very highly last year in the Big 12 Conference in charges drawn. Almost got one there, but just about a half step slow. As we mentioned, this is Bickle's first game action of the year. Been out with that hand injury, so naturally her reactions are going to be just a little bit off.
Masonis at the free throw line.
Yeah, Faith Masonis, a terrific player. She's very aggressive.
One of the captains of this Maryland team. Also one of 10 kids.
Yeah, she's one of the few on the ball club that's been there all 4 years.
Owens breaks the pressure with help from Andrews and sets the table. Darts to the basket. Puts it in reverse and finds Bickle. The freshman off the back of the iron.
That's a good shot. She took the shot she's supposed to, faced up, but just a little quick on her release that time. Baylor will certainly settle for
Takes care of business.
Well, that may be the impetus that little Paige Bugs needs to really have an outstanding game here today. She's at the right place at the right time. Good pass. Shaped up well to get that easy basket for Baylor.
So little Paige Bugs is at the free throw line. Our officials today, a seasoned crew you mentioned before the game, Gina Cross, Felicia Grinter, and Ma Forsberg, as we get another look at the hoop and horn.
Yeah, it's a Final Four type crew. All of them with great playoff experience in the NCAA.
1 for 3 tonight from the charity stripe is little Paige Bugs. Alexander Finds a cutting McDaniel. Offhand, can't make it. Masonis fights for the rebound. Ball caroms out of bounds. It'll stay here. Hey, Coach, we having fun yet?
We're having fun. Great game so far. 7-7. Big 10 against the Big 12.
Helping those who help others. That's the mission of Charity.
They also had a player named Angel Reese that was an All-American for Maryland that is now at LSU. Of course, Melissa Smith, second pick in the WNBA draft last year.
Sellers drops it off from McDaniel.
Nice defense by Jamie Asbury, the lady that's called the best pure shooter for Baylor there, number 21 on your screen. Good defensive play so far. Baylor doing a good job with their half-court defense. Perfect positioning by Jamie Asbury.
That was old school by McDaniel there, just clearing out.
Both teams have attempted 2 3-point shots. Baylor's 0 for 2, Maryland 1 for 2.
Asbury pumps and penetrates and finds Bickle. Wide open 3 for Jamie Asbury. It's rare she'll make that mistake, but Bickle finishes.
Now, Caitlin Bickle, not the most athletic player on the floor, but probably the smartest. Beautiful job of positioning herself for that offensive rebound.
Masonis falls away, in and out. Miller grabs the rebound.
Diamond Miller coming from that offside on the baseline, using her 6'3" frame.
Owens uses her speed in the open 4. Finds Asbury, who misses again. Fauntleroy's putback is no good. Players scramble for it. Out of bounds, last touched by the freshman Fauntleroy.
Well, great hustle on the offensive glass continuing for Baylor. Coach Brenda Freeze said before the game that was one of her biggest concerns, even with Asia Blackwell out. Blackwell was the second leading rebounder in the nation last year for Missouri. Thought Baylor's rebounding would be hurt. Naturally, it will be. Owens, mentioned earlier, leading the Big 12 in assists, second in steals, that time making a huge basket for Baylor to go up by 5.
7-0 run for Baylor over the last 149. Another turnover for the Terps.
Well, Baylor's half-court pressure defense seems to be affecting Maryland. Cheyenne Sellers there, the outstanding sophomore from Aurora, Ohio, just made the errant pass.
7 turnovers so far for Maryland,
well,
none for Baylor.
Baylor's half-court defense has been outstanding. Baylor has gone against teams that ran nothing but zone the last 2 games, so this is a eye-opener for Baylor going against a team that plays primarily man-to-man defense.
Owens off the 3-pointer, moves off the screen and gets it to Andrews. 5 on the shot clock. Bears will have to hurry.
Good face-up by Masonis, the senior leader for this ball club, 6'1". She can play well all over the floor.
Owens been the maestro tonight. Just in and out.
Yeah, that was a good shot. You got to take those kind.
Masonis faces defense from Andrews and can't finish around the hoop.
Yeah, I think Sarah Andrews got a tip on that basketball there. Looked like it would be an easy hoop for the Terrapins.
3-point advantage for Baylor, 12-9, 1:46 left in the first quarter.
Well, Maryland doing a good job in their transition game. Baylor fortunate. They could have been burned right there, just missed the open pass.
Good crowd today at the Farrell Center, supporting the Bears.
Well, good job on the offensive glass that time for Maryland. Brene Alexander, I mentioned earlier, had 11 rebounds in their win against Davidson Wednesday night. Good offensive carom for her.
She can do it all. Led Vandy in scoring last year before transferring. Andrews tees up a 3. Off the mark.
Well, Baylor's happy for her to get that shot. She's normally pretty accurate from right there. 40% to be exact last year.
Pinzon picks up her dribble. Briggs off the mark. Going the other way.
Nice job by very small Jamie Asbury against the much larger Maryland Terrapin. That time Bree McDaniel for Maryland picking up the foul.
And we'll see more of that pressure. Diamond Miller in the forecourt between Bickle and Jaden Owens on your screen. She now heads off screen. She's got 9 points in 4 minutes.
And Baylor has allowed Maryland to score the last 4 points in the ball game, pulling the Terrapins back within 1 of the Bears. Oh, nice break to the basket, but just a little bit too aggressive pass by Jaden Owens. Bickle tried to do the little quick slip screen that time, but didn't work. Both ball clubs playing.
Miller headed back to the free throw line.
Now you can see Diamond Miller. We talked about how outstanding she is and very highly rated now on the WNBA draft boards for the selections this coming spring. But right now, Baylor has got to do about the good drive, but didn't get the good kiss off the glass there for Jaden Owens.
But we looks like we do have a foul. See Brenda Freeze and her staff.
They're going to review and see if time is expired when they call that foul. Very hard-fought first quarter of this ball game.
Yeah, and Maryland, and you see Coach Brenda Freeze, though, you just saw it. They've got to feel good about being tied at 12 after that first quarter.
Well, they've got so many talented players. They've got 4 first-team all-conference players from other schools that took advantage of the transfer portal this year and are on this Maryland team. They're expecting to be very good. This is a young Baylor team that's outsized here today. This is a toss-up game, in my opinion.
All right, let's see, Coach.
Yeah, you can see Little Paige Buggs, the freshman for Baylor.
I'm going to say that was a free throw. Yeah, that was a foul, rather.
Now, Little Paige Buggs going to the free throw line now is 0 for 2 on the afternoon, but she's been very, very productive. She may get the award for the longest ponytail in college basketball this year, almost down below her shorts.
And she's got 3 rebounds so far today. Now she is 1 for 4 from the free throw line.
She's got such a good touch on the basketball. Just got to relax. I've watched them practice the other day, and she stroked it beautifully. There you go.
That ends a 3-minute and 23-second scoring drought for Baylor and gives them a 1-point advantage as we
is making it work on the floor. It looks like Maryland may be going to a zone defense here with their alignment. Yes, they are right now.
Little Paige Buggs faces a double team out of that zone, and Andrews
drilling it. She's averaging 12 points per game, so she knows how to put the ball in the basket. 56% field goal shooter on the year. I'd say she knows how to do it quite well.
Owens tees up another 3. Rebound Bears. Fauntleroy from the corner. Too strong.
Boy, nice hustle by the junior college transfer, Katarina Ferrero for Baylor. She came into the program from Eastern Arizona Junior College. All-American there. Had some big baskets for Baylor against SMU last Tuesday night. You can see her using her good hops there to get the rebound in traffic. Good hands for the junior college transfer.
Second-ranked junior college player in the country last year.
You can see there, Pete, all the Maryland fans that are behind the Maryland bench. Good turnout all the way down here in Waco, Texas.
The rich tradition travels well.
Nice drive by Buggs that time, but great team defense by Maryland. Good rotation. Coach Nikki Collin trying to coach Little Paige Buggs as she comes down the floor there. Give a little ball fake, she said, before she makes the move. A lot to learn for these hard matchup for a freshman like Little Paige Buggs that time to go against a player like Diamond Miller one-on-one.
Biggest lead of the afternoon for the Terps. Sellers on the attack. Alexander rotates.
Yeah, good ball movement, good player movement for Maryland. Has this Baylor defense shook up a little bit right now. That's going to happen when you have 2 freshman inside players on the floor like Baylor does against these experienced, I would call them stars for Maryland.
And I would agree. Myers, one of those stars, inbounds. Sellers controls. Diamond Miller. Go pick and roll. Masonis.
Nice block out by the freshman Bella Fauntleroy that time.
8 minutes left in the second quarter. Pick and roll. Nice move by Little Paige Bug getting to the hole.
That was great concentration by Little Paige Bugs that time to get the ball in the rack. Van Geitenbeek, who will go to the line. It was a transfer into the Baylor program this year from Stanford. Played on the national championship team. Yeah, you can see right there, she just steps back and nobody in her face. A little confusion on the perimeter for Baylor that time defensively between the junior college transfer Ferreira and Andrews.
You know, Myers a transfer from the Ivy League. If you had any questions about, hey, can she play big-time college basketball? She scored 16 points in the first half against South Carolina.
Yeah, no doubt she can play. Maryland lost that game to South Carolina, did not have Diamond Miller in that contest. She was out with injury, so you can tell here today if Maryland doesn't have Diamond Miller, they're not the same team.
Van Geitenbeek makes 1 of 2. Going the other way is Sellers, but going the other way too fast and too hard.
Well, nice defense that time. I believe that was Fauntleroy, wasn't it, inside? Yes, good defense by the freshmen. They are growing up quickly here. Good positioning. The key there, she was outside the arc. That is what you always have to watch on those charge calls around the basket, is the defender outside the arc. That time she was. Nice team defense by Baylor. Maryland starting to attack the basket much quicker now, much more aggressively. Maryland continuing to change defenses. This time a 1-2-2 three-quarter court trapping defense. This team trying to keep Baylor uncomfortable.
Andrews controls in front of the Maryland bench and pulls the trigger. Rough go for her today. 1 from 7 for 3. Asbury. Bears can't find it.
Well, Asbury is a good pure shooter. The key to this is for them not to get their confidence down.
1 of 12 on the afternoon from deep.
Well, you got to get back. She has to have help on that. Little Paige Bugs cannot guard Diamond Miller one-on-one. Baylor defense has to get back and help her. Good transition basketball by Maryland, though. Get the ball in the hands of your best player and let her go to work quickly.
22-18. Terps with the lead. Van Geitenbeek. Asbury now. Knifes into the lane. Off the mark. Shooting woes continue for the Bears. Into the forecourt. Myers to Penzan. Tic-tac-toe passing. 6-point lead for the Terps.
Well, not a good possession by Baylor on the offensive end last time. Maryland has them discombobulated right now.
Van Geitenbeek looks to restore
Maryland
order.
continues to change their defenses up and is keeping Baylor off balance, uncomfortable on the offensive end.
The well has run dry for the Bears.
Nice defense by Van Geitenbeek. Cut the baseline off well, forced the turnover for Maryland. That's Maryland's 8th turnover, 9th turnover into the game. It's really the only thing keeping Baylor in the contest. Bears just not shooting well right now, playing hard, but not consistently shooting well.
24% on the afternoon.
Yeah, Baylor 7 of 29.
Asbury with the turnover.
Maryland's 9 of 17, Baylor 7 of 29. You see, Baylor has 10 more shots because of Maryland's 9 turnovers. Have to take advantage of those.
Ball's poked away by Andrews. Alexander regains control. Off the miss, Masonis travels.
Yeah, she got the long rebound and moved that pivot foot too quickly before she put the ball on the floor. Baylor continues to be fortunate in that category.
On the day, Sarah Andrews 0 for 6 from 3. On her career, she's 40%, so you know she'll find the rhythm, Coach, at some point.
She's a good three-point shooter, just as you say. appears to be a little overexcited here this afternoon. Knows there's a lot of pressure on her with Asia Blackwell out of the game, the Bears' leading scorer.
Ferreira, too strong.
Now, Baylor probably settling for threes too quickly now. Had more success driving early in the game.
1 for 14 on the afternoon. 4:44 left here in the second quarter. Maryland up 6 on the road in a top 20 matchup on a Sunday afternoon from Waco. Ball goes out of bounds.
Baylor did a good job cutting off Abby Myers on the drive. It looks like it will be Terrapins basketball as we come back with Maryland up by 6 at the Farrell Center in Waco, Texas. For the 12th straight year last season, but they're picked 4th in the Big 12 this year, just like Maryland is a preseason 4th place pick in the Big 10.
Myers crashing to the floor off the pass from Sellers. Kick ball. Baylor basketball.
Well, when you have a player like Sarah Andrews, who's obviously the team leader for Baylor, and she is only 1 of 8, and the team is only shooting 23% from the floor, and to only be down by 6 to this outstanding Maryland team, I would say that would bode well if they can start scoring. And how about Jana Van Geitenbeek, young lady from Stanford? Great penetration using that left hand. Maryland didn't do a good job of closing that driving lane, but Van Geitenbeek used her quickness.
Sellers, the surgeon.
Good help inside by Bella Fauntleroy, making them get rid of the ball inside. I think they're going to get Caitlin Bickle for her second foul going over the back.
Aggressive play by Caitlin Bickle.
Obviously the crowd upset with that call. They've let some very aggressive plays grow, but let's take a look for ourselves. You judge what you think right there. Wasn't Bickle up high that got the foul. She got her down on the waist.
Another foul.
Well, that's going to be the 4th team foul on Baylor. Now, remember when the new rules that came in 5 years ago, when a team gets 5 fouls, the opponent gets to shoot 2 free throws automatically. That's a big key here with 4 minutes to go in the first half. Great break without the ball by Diamond Miller. Obviously a malfunction at the junction for Baylor on defense.
Largest lead for Maryland.
Nice execution by Maryland.
(26-20) Terps lead. The freshman tried to cut into it, too strong.
Now that's not her shot. Baylor doing much better driving the ball to the basket than they are on perimeter shooting.
The dynamic Diamond Miller to Pinzon underneath to Masonis.
Yeah, Bella Fauntleroy, I'm hesitant to keep saying the freshman made a defensive mistake, but she did, and she is a freshman, and she's going to learn. Nice job inside by Maryland.
Van Geitenbeek looks good coming in off the bench. Clean look at a 3. Just misses.
A good hustle by Buggs there on the long rebound in the corner.
Andrews to Daylight.
Oh, what about that defense there by Abby Myers? Got those long hands up quickly, but Andrews was going to the basket, not settling for the quick outside shot. Just as we expected, a very aggressive game here this afternoon. A lot of physical players on the floor. Diamond Miller coming up and extending the long arm at 6'3" for the block, but got called in the meantime. Sarah Andrews, preseason first team all Big 12 selection. A lot is expected of her, and she does have to come up big time for Baylor to have a chance.
1 for 8 from the floor, but 1 for 1 from the free throw line. She's got 5 assists, finding different ways to contribute. Miller racing into the forecourt.
Well, there was no chance right there. That's bad transition defense by Baylor. You're exposing Jamie Asbury at 5'6" to try to defend Diamond Miller at 6'3" by herself. Won't work.
Little Paige Bug underneath. Pulls up, Lane hobbling a little, but she'll go to the free throw line.
Really a nice job by Maryland using their team speed to get the ball up the floor quickly. Their little Paige Bugs continuing her aggressive play on the glass.
Gatorade Player of the Year.
Now she's got 8 points and 5 rebounds. The freshman has been the big story here for Baylor so far today, playing above her experience level. Got good size, long arms, plays much bigger than 6'1". She was a McDonald's All-American last year before choosing Baylor.
Crowd showing signs of life.
Yeah, really a good crowd here this afternoon on a Sunday afternoon with lots of competition for TV entertainment.
Pinzon penetrates, working on Van Geitenbeek. And the Stanford transfer plays the defense and comes up with the loose ball. Into the forecourt, she finds Andrews for 3. In and out, but Fauntleroy with the follow.
Beautiful job by Fauntleroy.
And a steal by the Bears. Andrews.
Well, Sarah Andrews just cannot buy one here this afternoon, but how about the hustle by this Baylor team, bringing the crowd to their feet. No quit, obviously, in this young Baylor team against this veteran Maryland ball club. Sarah Andrews, I keep saying, normally drills that shot, but how about the offensive putback attempt by Bella Fauntleroy?
5th rebound for Bella Fauntleroy.
I mentioned Fauntleroy hit that shot out of the corner to preserve the victory with a minute to go against SMU last Tuesday night here at the Farrell Center.
Andrews back at the free throw line.
Sarah Andrews is a much, much better offensive player than we're seeing here this afternoon. You mentioned it, Pete. 5 assists, beautiful in that category. Has got to get her shot going. Baylor pulling back within 4 now.
2 minutes left before halftime. Sellers faces the pressure from Van Geitenbeek. Physical condition, and she's showing us that today.
Well, she is showing us that, and Baylor's going to need every ounce of that energy to try to pull off a victory here today against this very, very good Maryland basketball team. A bad mismatch inside. Jamie Asbury was fronting Sellers down low. I keep talking about these mismatches, Pete, because Asbury at 5'6" there is guarding Sellers at 6'2" down on the block. That's tough, tough, tough assignment. She did a nice job of fronting her to prevent the pass.
Diamond Miller.
Yeah, she is just so athletic and so quick, using that 6'3" frame.
12 points in the second quarter for Diamond Miller. Ball's poked away by Pinzon from Italy. Caroms of Van Geitenbeek. 30 seconds left in the half. Andrews cannot get it to Little Paige Bug, and here come the Terps in transition again. Sellers! Circus act to the hoop. She'll go to the free throw line.
Well, Maryland continues to do a nice job of getting the ball up the floor quickly. They have good court vision, look up the floor promptly, and make the long pass when it's there. Take a look right here off the turnover by Sarah Andrews, and Jamie Asbury and Van Geitenbeek just could not get back quick enough.
Now, I mentioned Pinzon from Italy. 23 years of age, has played with the national team and showing some of that know-how and moxie with that beautiful pass and just knowing when to pull the trigger on the fast break.
Well, she was all American Conference All-Star last year at South Florida, top team in that conference.
Double-digit lead for the Terps, 36-26.
Yeah, biggest lead of the game by far for either team. Maryland going back. I like the way they've changed defenses. I'm a big believer in that. Keep your opponent off balance. You're not necessarily going to steal it, but you make them think before every possession.
Van Geitenbeek trying to get the lead to single digits before half. Can't do it. Sellers rips the rebound. Long distance. And time expires.
Well, it was a hard-fought first half. It's the story of Maryland. Brenda Freeze won the national.
Back to Owens. Big three to start the second half.
And what happened? They penetrated instead of taking the quick three. They drilled it. Good job by Owens getting to that left corner. Drilled it. Nice shot. That's her second three. She's made both of Baylor's threes. Baylor's 2 out of 19.
Andrews off the dribble. Step back. The lead is 4, just like that.
Well, you just watch Sarah Andrews now. She's a player that can get on a roll quickly. If she gets her confidence going, Baylor showed great patience on both of those 2 possessions.
Foot was on the line. They'll call it a 2. 36-31, Maryland leads. But Baylor making some noise. Andrews trying to make it 4 straight. She does.
Well, after not scoring in the first half, Sarah Andrews, well, she had 3 at the half, but now 5 quick ones for Baylor.
7-0 run to start the second half. And Brenda Freeze will want to talk it over. Now, as we go to
their junior star point guard, who did not have a good offensive first half, but has come out on fire here in the second half to start this third period.
Pinzon, the senior from Italy, goes to Diamond Miller, the all-everything. Off the glass for Miller, no good. Offensive rebound. Myers tees up a 3. Her first miss from long distance of the afternoon.
That was good team defense by Baylor as Diamond Miller made that quick penetration on the baseline that time. The freshman, Little Paige Buggs, cut her off with team help.
Myers breaks out of the congested corner and throws it to Owens. 7th steal of the afternoon for Baylor.
That's what a scouting report's all about right there, knowing where to go into that passing lane on kick-out attempts. Nice job by Jaden Owens.
Asbury still can't find the mark. Little Paige Buggs.
Now Buggs is so quick with her shot, used her strength and quickness to just split the defense. The freshman doing it again. 12 points now to lead Baylor.
That's a career high for her. The Gatorade Player of the Year last year.
She had 14 rebounds against SMU, but that is her point total high.
Out of control to the hole. Lavender Briggs draws a foul.
Well, Mai Forsberg there was in position to make the right call. Obviously, Caitlin Bickle wasn't happy about it.
4th foul of the afternoon for Bickle.
Well, that's a real tough break for Baylor. Caitlin Bickle had played very, very well. Let's watch right here. Yeah, I think that was the right call. She was sliding her feet. This is a great officiating crew here this afternoon. Final Four caliber. All of them have worked there.
Myers off the dribble, off the glass, too short. Ball trickles into the hands of Diamond Miller. Back to Myers. Quick trigger for her. No good. Rebound. Diamond Miller. And she'll go to the free throw line.
Well, Baylor controlled the offensive boards the first half, 14-3. Maryland's controlling them here in the second half. Game's getting a little chippy. Gina Cross there trying to settle down the Baylor 5.
Miller with some choice words for Owens.
Well, this has been a very physical basketball game from the start. You can see Jaden Owens reaching there on the offside, and they did get tangled up, and that's what led to the mouthing.
Diamond Miller, first free throw is good.
She's the leading scorer in the game with 14. The freshman for Baylor has 12.
And the Somerset, New Jersey native extends her team's lead to 38-35. Asbury operates in front of her own bench, goes to Owens. 2 for 3 from beyond the arc, thinks about it. 10 on the shot clock. Inside a Little Paige Buggs, but we've got a foul on the floor before.
Much better patience now for Baylor on the offensive end than we saw in the first half. Working harder for good shots, not rushing everything like they did before. They've fought back from the 10-point halftime deficit to, that's 2 now, 2 out of 2 for her. Tied this basketball game up. We said if she got hot, this could be a contest.
That one was from Hillsborough.
No, I think more like Corsicana. It was further than Hillsborough.
Myers And Baylor has a chance to take the lead.
Now Little Paige Buggs getting another good defensive rebound, giving the ball off to Big 12 Conference's assist leader, Jaden Owens.
Andrews looking for another one. The roof would have come off this place if that had gone in.
Well, she needs to take it. She knows she's hot. She's got the green light to shoot it.
Masonis from the corner, no good. Maryland's shooting woes continue in the second half.
Well, that was a tough physical foul coming over the back by Sellers that time against the much shorter Jamie Asbury. That time you see Andrews, as you said, partner, shooting it like from Hillsborough. That's 30 miles down the road. That was a good foot and a half outside the three-point line. Baylor will have their first opportunity to take the lead since very early in this contest.
11 points on the afternoon for Andrews. Owens controls top of the defense.
That goes back to what I keep talking about. Baylor has got to get players back in transition to double team her quick and make her get rid of the basketball. That's too easy. She is too good one-on-one.
Fauntleroy drops it off for Paige Littlebug. We'll go to the free throw line.
Very nice execution that time by Maryland. They come down the floor quickly and get into their movement very effectively. They're a good basketball team in transition. Do things very, very fundamentally sound.
We are locked at 40. As you get a look.
Sellers at the line, 12 points and 5 rebounds per game average coming into this. Take a look at this strong move by Sarah Andrews, just splitting 3 black shirts for the Maryland Terrapins. Terrific move by the junior point guard for Baylor.
Too strong for Sellers. Here comes Owens. Five minutes left. Maryland clinging to a 1-point lead. Andrews finding a cutting. Wow, Little Paige Buggs was there.
Yeah, that was good, quick. Both ball clubs doing a good job now in transition, getting good, quick shots, drawing fouls, keeping this game physical.
Don't go anywhere. We've got a great one, 44-40. Top 20 matchup, Maryland leads.
Each year, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital
used to play very, very well. Diamond Miller hit that last shot well covered. She's just a great player.
And Jaden Owens hits that first free throw.
Owens now with 6 points in the ball game.
Has that great vision to find other players, but she's been finding the hole today. 8 points on the afternoon for Jaden Owens. You see some of that tenacious defense against Sellers cross half court.
Well, Nikki Collins' biggest concern coming into this game was defensive matchups with Maryland's size advantage at all positions. Other than Diamond Miller, Baylor has done a good job, especially against Abby Myers.
Ball goes off the knee of Little Paige Buggs. Racing into the forecourt is Owens, too strong off the backboard. Little Paige Buggs' follow-up is no good, but she'll go to the free throw line.
Nice job by Jaden Owens getting the steal defensively and taking it all the way up the floor to draw another foul. She has 8 points in the ball game. Little Paige Buggs leads the way with 12 points for Baylor, but how about this? Already the freshman has a double-double in this big-time matchup. How about that for a freshman? Last year at this time playing high school basketball in Oklahoma City, now going against this great Maryland team. Jamie Asbury, called Baylor's best pure shooter, didn't come close on that one.
Sellers so often has controlled things for Maryland's offense. Goes to Myers. The transfer from Princeton.
Nice defense by Asbury that time against the much bigger Myers. That was 5'6" against 6 foot. Abby Myers, the all-Ivy Leaguer last year at Princeton. Great quickness, using those long arms. That freshman has got a future. Boy, what a matchup going against Diamond Miller. What a matchup.
Sellers, 3 off the dribble, too strong. Ripped down by Little Paige Buggs.
Yeah, Maryland had nobody on the offensive glass that time. Oh, my goodness. Sarah Andrews just shuffled that pivot foot too quickly. Key turnovers cannot happen at Crucial times. Baylor cuts it to 2 with 2:19 to go and draws. That's only their 5th turnover of the game. The floor game for Baylor has been very well done all afternoon. Maryland at this time has 16 turnovers. That's really what's kept Baylor in the game. Only 5 turnovers to 16 for Maryland.
Sellers controls, and Owens has been all over her.
How versatile is she at 6'3", so strong. Baylor's got a little more size in the lineup now, taking out the 5'6" Asbury for the 6-foot Kat Ferreira with the basketball right there, the junior college transfer from Eastern Arizona.
Fauntleroy rims out. Batted back to half court by Ferreira. Fauntleroy. Great save. Coming up slow as she was right by our broadcast position. 10 on the shot clock to the hole.
Yeah, Ferreira that time did as she did against SMU, made a nice drive in there to cause trouble for the Maryland defense. She is 6 foot. That's a 6-foot gain in height for Baylor when they put her in for one of their very small guards. Sarah Andrews is going to get a good rest now between quarters. She comes out with 16 seconds to go as Ferreira goes to the charity stripe for the Bears.
The 6-foot junior JUCO transfer from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Nice
makes
touch.
the first.
Yeah. She's going to be a very good player, just learning the major college game right now. Big difference, especially, or I should say normally, defensively between the junior college game and the major college top 5 game, top 20 matchup like this.
Cross-court pass. Van Geitenbeek controls. 5 on the shot clock, throws it away.
Now there's Bickle tried to post up and did a good job. Van Geitenbeek just thought she was going to be posting a little higher than she did. Just the 6th turnover of this hard-fought game for Baylor. Came at a most crucial time. That transition game once again for Maryland. Great movement, getting the ball in the hands of good shooters. Maryland coming through at crunch time. Baylor missed the easy layup. Maryland comes down and hits the 3.
It has been a 3-point assault so far in the 4th quarter. The lead is 12 for the Terps.
Top 20 matchup here. There's a top 2 matchup in Palo Alto, California. Stanford hosting #1 South Carolina. Stanford up by 4 with 6 minutes to go.
Big turnover for Baylor.
Yeah, they've just all of a sudden hit the wall here after about the 6-minute mark into the 3rd period. Another example of what I keep talking about. Baylor takes it to the rack. Good things happen. You can't just keep flinging up 3-point shots when they're not going in. Baylor's 4th 3-point basket of the game, her 3rd. Let's see if that can ignite Baylor now to good things on the defensive end. Mismatches continue for Baylor. Little Paige Buggs, their best defender, off the floor right now, getting a little rest. The freshman who's done such a great job this afternoon, not out there right now.
Penzan, who led the AAC in assists last year, decides to shoot it and misses it. Baylor gets the rebound.
Yeah, another good freshman for Baylor. Bright days ahead. Fauntleroy and Little Paige Buggs both, but let's see what they can do on the offensive end.
Baylor can cut it to 6.
Yeah, Maryland obviously wanting Ferreira to have an open shot out there. They'll give her that. Nice job getting it to Bickle.
And the crafty senior, too strong, gets her own rebound, battles for it, out of bounds. Last touch by the Terps, will stay right here.
Well, good hustle by Bickle. You can see she's not quite in true game shape yet. Her first game of the year after being out with that hand injury. It's going to take her some time to get her rhythm back and knock down all those shots that she normally makes. But she's fighting hard here this afternoon against this talented Maryland. Crafty Penzan doing that last year as an all-conference performer for South Florida.
Foot on the line.
Freshman mistake right there. Tried to make the quick move on the baseline, dropped that pivot foot on the out-of-bounds line. Look at Penzan right here, getting Fauntleroy to back up. Takes that jab step and just drills it. Maryland now 5 out of 12 on three-point shots.
Baylor 5 of 27 on the other side of that. 19% from three.
Well, Maryland has 8 threes. I'm sorry. Just looking at the wrong. 27 now for her. I said she'd be the focus of the Baylor defense. She is, but they have not found out a way to stop her. That young lady is all of a sudden just lighting it up. 22 points for her now, had 3 at halftime, 19 here in the second half.
3 for 3 from beyond the arc in the fourth quarter. Baylor trails.
Game in Waco, Texas this afternoon. Terrific crowd on hand. Baylor students are out for the week. They left on Friday, not here to cheer on the Baylor women, but a very exuberant crowd enjoying this contest.
Yeah, an electric atmosphere down the stretch, 3:20 left. There's Diamond Miller pulling her way to the hole.
How about that? They called a charge on that. There's the freshman drawing the charge. Nice job of moving her feet. Let's take a look right here. You can see little Paige Bugs. Diamond Miller just turned right into her. Nice job.
Do it for her.
Yeah, that's a shame. Bickle goes out. Yeah, nice play. You got to give Diamond Miller credit on that. That's a shame to have Bickle caught in that situation. I think she was trying to back up, but the striped shirts called the foul on Bickle.
Well, you're exactly right. She was caught in that situation. Just hung out to dry against the faster
Maryland
player.
Credit. Get the ball in the hands of their best player and let her make a play. She forced one of Baylor's key performers, who's played well in this fourth quarter, but tip of my cap to Caitlin Bickle, her first game of the year, coming in and playing very well against this tough Terrapin team.
Diamond Miller, 22 points, 19 points, and today she has 27 over the course of her last 3 games. Her dad, Lance, played basketball at Villanova, coming from good stock. He played for Rolly Massimino there. Down the stretch we come.
Looks like Maryland's going back to a man-to-man defense now. That zone got a little soft.
The lead is 6. 15 on the shot clock, 2:35 left in the game. Bears will have to move quick.
Bickle is such a facilitator when she's at the high post.
Andrews from downtown, no good, but she's fouled by Masonis.
Boy, not a smart play by Masonis that time. Good gracious, the senior knows better than that. You don't foul a three-point shooter late in a basketball game especially. Let's see if Sarah Andrews can knock down the freebies for the Bears. She comes into the game as a 71% free throw shooter for the season.
And she has kept Baylor in this game with 22 points. Has come alive in the second half, but off the mark there.
Yeah, she makes one here. You can see her get fouled. This steps right back out. Close call. These referees are calling it exceptionally tight here in the latter stages of this game.
Oh, heartbreaking.
Yeah, Andrews, 71% free throw shooter. She's knocking it down from 3, but not from the free throw line.
7 of 9 from the floor in the second half, and 4 of 6 for 3. Makes 1 of 3 from the free throw line. The lead is 5. Terps come under half court. Fans to their feet here at the Farrell Center. Diamond Miller, the dynamic scorer. So,
yep, good things continuing for Baylor when they drive to the basket. Doing a lot more of that here in the second half, and it's paying good dividends. Make these 2, and it's a 3-point basketball game. Jaden Owens, she may be the leading assist maker right now in the Big 12, but she's making some big points and good moves for Baylor.
Really emerging as a leader for this Baylor
8 points
team.
in this ball game. She can go into double figures if she can make 2 right here. Nice touch. From Plano, she's from Plano, just north of Dallas.
Oof. Off the mark. Baylor 2 of 5 from the free throw line.
Yeah,
their last
she's
2
an
trips.
83% free throw shooter. Fatigue could be a factor here late.
1:35 on the clock. A 4-point advantage for Maryland. Diamond Miller going to try to drive the nail in the coffin with help from her teammates. Pinzon controls. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Miller loses the handle, finds it, can't finish. But the rebound to Masonis.
Key bounce for Maryland right there. Baylor had a chance to get the long rebound, did not get the bounce.
Terps reset.
Tough matchup with Asbury in there guarding the high post. She is so short.
5 on the shot clock. The senior from Italy, too strong off the glass, but Myers.
Oh my, I keep talking about the size advantage that Maryland has, and Baylor's burned twice right there because of it.
2 offensive rebounds, backbreakers, Coach.
Well, that's to Maryland's credit. Great effort, and size makes a difference in this game. Always has and always will. That's the advantage they came into the game with. Good look at Brenda Freeze, 2006 national championship coach. All she's done in her 20 years as head coach at Maryland, been to the NCAAs 18 times out of 20.
70-66, Maryland leads as the 2 out of her hat down the stretch.
Well, it's certainly doable. 48 seconds to go. Well, right idea, but obviously Jaden Owens just lost her footing here. You can see her drive quick. She sees the lane wide open to the basket. Could have said there was a little bump there. Officials did not call it. Tough break for Jaden Owens, who has played a gutty game here this afternoon.
And she certainly anticipated a whistle. That's what these non-conference games are for. Coaches like you will tell us.
Well, you can bet they're going to get the ball in the hands of Diamond Miller. There you go. At her size, she's big, strong. They're not going to double team and take it away from her. I think Maryland called a timeout.
Career high for Diamond Miller.
Maryland has 1 timeout left after this one. Oh, they called a foul. That's third on Baylor.
So Baylor will send the Terps to the free throw line upon their next foul. Almost a steal. On the last touch, they're going to say by Baylor. Close call there near the Maryland bench. So it looks like the officials will take a look at this, Coach.
Well, you can see Ferreira right there going hard, trying to get the double team. With under a minute to go now, they can go back and look at every out-of-bounds situation and make sure the call is correct. Actually, if they want to have any hope at all, they'd like to get a desperation steal. If not, they've got a foul on the throw. And you knew there was no doubt where it was going to go. I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and say, but I would have done everything in the world to try to keep the ball out of the hands of Diamond Miller. Easier said than done. I'm sure that was obviously discussed.
Looking down at the baseline, there are 5 WNBA scouts here to check out Miller, who's got 29 points, and he'll head back to the free throw line.
Well, now that'll be, there's one more. Baylor can get, it's the 5th team foul that lets the other team go to the free throw line.
Pins on. So Miller, who is fouled, this time she will go to the free throw line.
Well, that's a tough assignment for Kat Ferreira to try to keep her from getting the basketball, but Maryland did the right thing, did the good job of getting the ball into the hands of not only their best player, but their best athlete. At 6'3", she can go up and get a high pass, get an errant pass, just a great player.
Issues last season, and she is 100% now. Timeout, Coach Nikki Collin and Baylor.
Well, that free throw miss right there, you can think dreams, and right assist maker in the Big 12. 7 seconds. Good timeout. Nice play. Good job by Nikki Collins calling that play. Good job by Sarah Andrews getting her. That rule changed the same time to 5. Andrews and Owens trying to keep Miller from getting the ball. The problem is Miller's as quick as those 2 little jets are for Baylor.
On the game, Miller 6 for 8 from the free throw line. No 2 bigger than right now. Buries the first.
Well, that was the difference maker right there. That was huge. What a great player. We knew it coming in. She's proved it even more here this afternoon. The great competitor.
So the lead extends to 5, and Coach Nick will want to talk it over. Diamond Miller hands up Harry defense. And a foul is called on Masonis. Or did she knock it out of bounds?
Yeah, nice job by Masonis. Good quick hands without fouling.
They'll say it was knocked out of bounds.